And it is 7:45 here on this Friday morning. It is time for Friday with the Fuzz. So I'll toss it over to Mr. Michael Greene.
Thank you, Derek. In studio with us today is Elgin's Chief of Police, Chief Swoboda. Welcome, Chief Swoboda. How are you this morning?
I'm fantastic. Good morning. How are you guys?
Doing great.
I'm fantastic.
I know Derek's looking forward to the weekend. I will work all weekend.
Shopping.
All right. Lots going on around the police department and the community and this weekend.
Derek's going to the mall tomorrow.
To the mall.
He's all excited.
Going to the mall tomorrow.
Wow.
I know. It's a roommate date, I guess. We can just move past that.
There you go. Sounds like fun.
Right? Yeah. A couple things going on. Quite a bit, actually. Wanted to start maybe with just a couple things that happened in and around Elgin since we spoke last Friday. First one was we talked the last show about car burglaries being up, and I know you said in the past, that sometimes you'll make an arrest and you'll see a dip on it, like right away, that certain people are responsible for an inordinate amount. Possibly, right? And you guys, the department made an arrest last Monday morning, I believe, very early Monday morning, around 2 a.m. And another thing that was prevalent here was, again, as you talk about all the time, community involvement. A resident says they saw something going on and called police, and you guys were able to make an arrest. Can you talk about that a little bit? This was Monday morning around 2 o'clock.
Yeah. Again, like you said, the residents... A neighbor then saw something and gave us a call, obviously 2 o'clock in the morning. If you see anybody out and about, sometimes it does make you take a second look. And so gave us a call, and our midnight shift officers did a great job. And Midnight's really works on the car burglaries and burglaries in general. And over the years, some of our, the main arrests that we make on the burglaries and burglary motor vehicles occur on the midnight shift. People are out there under the, it's obviously dark out, and so people like to use the darkness to try and commit their crimes. And so they get very good at their response and making sure nobody pulls up right to the spot, but actually kind of get a few vehicles in the area and then get out. And they made the arrest. And so it was a fantastic arrest by our midnight shift, and 2 people were taken into custody and charged up. So our car burglars are actually down for the year, but...
I think we talked robberies and burglaries just in general.
All that stuff, yeah, exactly. And so it's all it takes is a quick phone call, so people keeping their eyes open and give us a call. But yeah, it was a nice arrest. 2 people charged up with the felonies, and like I said, you don't get up and just do one car burglary and go back, back to bed and never do another one again. People who generally break into cars do it routinely, and so we know so many crimes they definitely stopped. With
something like that. Where they're breaking into the cars, is this stuff that they're selling, they're using, what are they doing with it? I mean, are you going to be able to go back potentially to their place of residence or somewhere else and find evidence of previous ones and be able to put more together? Or is that not generally the case where they hang on to the stuff? Do they sell it right away?
It depends. And I don't know about this case, so I'm not sure with this case. But in general, we can many times, especially... if we know, or during the time of talking with them, they say that yes, I also have other stereos back at my house. We also talk about leads online and being able to get out and see what they're doing with it. Are they pawning it? Sometimes they just take it and will exchange it for drugs if they're addicted to drugs, and many times they're just going out getting change or anything just to give them their next high, and so they'll just get rid of it any way they can that way. So each one's a little bit different, but absolutely finding where they have it. Many times we find, depending how cooperative they are once they're arrested, we'll find proceeds and then ask the community to, who recognizes this type of stuff, and especially if there's identifiable jewelry or things. So the arrest is just one piece of it. It usually spawns more investigative follow-up to see where the victims were. Is there more property that we can recover?
You do a lot with talking about, the different... I don't even know how to word it, where you have community awareness. You do a lot of the walk and talks. You do a lot of community awareness events. I know we were talking before air that you were, I think, at a synagogue the other day, right? Yeah. And it kind of community outreach there, as well as different churches and things like that. Can you lots going on right now, I guess, just across America with some of the things that have taken place in different parts of the country where the police are kind of getting a bad name. And I guess when you're a police officer, it doesn't matter where it happened. They view that as you did that almost, right? with my company, my full-time job, people often say something bad about them, and I'm like, I'm not that person. I'm not that company. I'm me. So do you kind of feel the same way sometimes?
Oh, there's no doubt that in law enforcement we're all connected. So when an incident happens, police respond, and something happens, we're always going to be connected. Sometimes good, bad. When I say good, if officers acted heroically, it can use positive sentiments, and so. But yeah, lately, with the negativity, I've been out. It's. I wish we were talking about body cams a few weeks ago, and I wish I had a body cam over the past week, just because there's so much going on. The amount of community support we have within this community, and so although I can probably talk about policing in general across the country, breaking it down specifically to Elgin. I mean, I'm obviously the Elgin Police Chief, and so dealing with Elgin issues. Just so proud of how we do work very hard to have such a positive influence in the community, and the community just gets it, and they work with us routinely, and that is a testament really just to the officers who day in, day out act professionally, go out, do a very tough job, and in times like this make it tougher for officers, obviously. But we hire professionals. We hire people, we train them, we give them good equipment, and they go out and they just do a fantastic job day in and day out. And at every one of the places I was at, I'd always talk about it, especially when there were kids there. One of the places I was at was the Elgin Housing Authority was giving away a bunch of bicycles to kids who, for Christmas, wouldn't be able to have a bicycle. And so they were able to get sponsorships, and our crime-free housing was there, rope officers were there. And I told the kids that were there and the parents that when you hear that kind of stuff about you don't trust the police or those type of things that you see on TV, you guys live in Elgin, Illinois, and you absolutely should trust the police, because that's who you call when you're in trouble. And day in and day out, there are professionals out there that will respond and help them and their families in times of need. So when you see that stuff, it does get a little disheartening. But again, there's it's different here in Elgin, and we work very hard to make it that way. And I love showing up. So one of the things going to this Saturday is officers got together and wanted to do something nice for little angels, so they do that. Rope officers are preparing to have Christmas dinners for people who maybe wouldn't have the best dinner otherwise. So they're getting some food together and they're dropping off presents. Other ones are going. They're at the toy giveaway last night. I went there probably at 6 o'clock, 6:30 last night, and had officers already still there, giving away bicycles at the Elgin Housing Authority. So many things with the Boys and Girls Club. Commander Lally, Sergeant Pasegli buy cupcakes and bring it for the kids for their December birthday, and they show up there. And so there's just so much positive stuff going on. And that positive stuff doesn't make the papers, it doesn't. And we put it out there. We put it on our Facebook page, and I promote the heck out of the Elgin Police Department because we do such a great job. And I don't say that to pat myself on the back. It's not me out there handling the calls. It's not me out there when it's snowing like crazy and there's a bad accident. And it's the officers that we have. And so this community should be very proud of the Elgin Police Department, and they are. And so kind of a long answer to your question. So you see that stuff on TV, and you know what? Anybody, any organization can always get better. And I look at our tactical response team, for instance. Our tactical response team is one of and I don't just say this because it's the Elgin one, but it's one of the best around. Jim Lally is the commander of it, and he trains them, and it's some of our best officers, and they do just an absolutely fantastic job. And the coolest thing about our tactical response team is after every incident they go on, and it goes well. We just had one at the water treatment plant where our tactical response team was there, able to take a guy who had a handgun. We were able to take a person into custody, use less lethal force, handle it awesome. They did a great job. And the first thing they do when they come back is they talk and they say, how can we have done it better? And so I think that's the coolest part. I think we should do that in our personal lives. How can we always improve? So organizations, police officers, police departments can always get better. And the Elgin Police Department can certainly get better. And we have great interaction with the community. They come and tell us how we can get better. But day in, day out, man, the guys on the street, the guys and girls who work for the Elgin Police Department, sworn and civilian, are top notch. They do a great job. And so when you see that stuff, don't trust the police. Police always do this. Police always do that. The one thing I show up, I said, well, you know what? If we're always doing that, they give me a date and time and we'll investigate. It should be real easy to find the last time we did it then. Because the things that we're seeing on TV, when you see about police brutality and those things going on, it doesn't happen in Elgin. And I can say that because we're very open, and if it was happening, I'd know about it. People would come to us and tell us. And like I said, give me a date and time and we'll investigate it. So I do push back now, as with certain things are going on, and then all police officers are bad, don't trust police. I see that stuff, and I just tell kids, I tell parents, dismiss it. Don't you got a question, you got a problem, come down here and talk to the Elgin police officer. We have enough meetings. We're everywhere. Half this community, I think, has my personal cell phone. So if stuff was going on, I'd know about it. We have, again, great interaction. And the cool thing is, you don't have any more questions, right? Can I keep going?
Keep going.
The cool thing is our interaction isn't just with people who support us and people who just always say, you know what, you guys do a great job, and they show up and they tell us what a good job we're doing. We have people that come down as part of our Citizen Advisory Committee who there's a certain level of, you know what, the police, yeah, you guys are doing a good job in Elgin, you could do better. And there's one that I've talked to her before, I use her as an example, Tracy. And Tracy always supports the Elgin Police Department, but does have some concerns about policing in general. And rather than say, you know what, you don't always trust police, you have negative things to say about police, I don't want to talk with you. We come down, and she's part of our meetings. She comes down, her and her husband Rick come down, and they meet with us, and they say, here's how we can do better, as part of a committee. And so I love that approach, because we always can get better. And if I just listen to people who say, you know what, police racial profile, or police do something else, and I just dismiss it and say, you know what, no we don't, without listening and hearing how we can do better, because many times it's about perspective. If you feel a certain way, I can't give facts and say, well, you shouldn't feel that way because here's the facts. I'm missing the point. If you have something that you're talking about the way you feel, I need to understand that, I need to hear it, and then we can talk about maybe why are you perceiving it that way, and let's have that discussion. What do police do that make people feel this way? And let's have that discussion. But we invite people in who don't always agree with the police, and we listen, and we come up with ideas on how we can become better. And so constant improvement is always the way to go, I think, in any organization. And like I said, from brand new officers we hire to the chief of police office, we are out there in the community, we listen, we always know we can get better. And it's just, at this time of year, and I see all the things going on, I've never been more proud of the Elgin Police Department, because they just do it right. And I say they because I want to make sure it's not a me type of statement. It's the officers who day in, day out, are out there handling calls. And sometimes one thing to talk about education, we're always trying to educate the community on things we do and why we do it a certain way. I remember having to deliver someone's son was killed, and he was hit by a car. And so I had to go in the middle of the night and tell the mom that her son was dead. And afterwards, I came to the station because I was kind of messed up. It was like, it was tough. She collapsed at my feet. His little brother came running. I knew the family. His little brother came running in. It was a bad thing to have to tell somebody. Afterwards, I was a rope officer, so I could then, I was done for the day. I was done with that, but I didn't want to go home, so I went back to the station, just kind of hung around there. But the officers on the street, after they go and do that, you know where they have to go? They have to go handle an accident. They have to go do a domestic. They have to go do another call. And sometimes we'll get, people saying, you know what, I had an officer on my crash scene. He wasn't very friendly. He didn't smile. And it's like, okay, well, all right, well, cut him a little slack. We don't know what he was going through. You don't know the last call he was just at. And so I say that story only just to remind people that officers are human beings who make decisions on the fly, who make decisions very quickly, because that's where we work, out there in the now. And many people who second guess or want to talk about how police can improve are able to do it, with the lights on, 70-degree room, and with a cup of coffee at our side. And so that's fine. But the officers are out there making tough calls on a daily basis and working hard. And I'm just so proud. And like I said, when I'm going to Little Angels tomorrow, when I'm at the rope Christmas party, or when I'm at the toy giveaway, or I'm at the Boys and Girls Club, and see the interaction with officers and kids in this community, it makes me very proud, and it should make every resident in Elgin very proud to know that their police department cares about them, and their police department is going to, whether you support us or not, when you need help, give us a call and we're coming. And that's one of the coolest things about law enforcement. Same thing with the fire department. Anyone, anytime needs any help, you call 3 numbers and we'll be there in less than a couple minutes. And so kind of a long answer. I think I kind of took up the entire time, but I just want to make sure that as we see these things, and make sure that the officers know, because it is a tough time sometimes when you turn on the TV and don't trust the police. Police are this or police are that, and officers killed in line of duty are up this year, from officers killed with handguns to officers killed in car crashes to officers killed in other ways. Officers are giving their lives. Every couple days another officer gives his life, and I think most people get that and understand it. But I just felt the need to kind of go off on it a little bit, because I just feel so strongly about it. Just been 23 years here in Elgin, and I tell you, I've never been more proud to be an Elgin police officer. And it's a tough job, and none of us been drafted though. I always say, we're hiring 8 new officers. Next, we didn't have a draft, so nobody is forced to be a police officer. And part of the best part of being a police officer, because it is a tough job, and we need smart people that make good decisions, that think level-headed and think clearly. And I wouldn't want an easy job. It's a tough job, but I love it. And again, very proud of the Elgin Police Department and the connection and the interaction we have with our community.
We had a lot to talk about. That's all right. None of it can't wait until next week. So we'll talk about, we've got some promotions going on in the Elgin Police Department. We've got a quote-unquote retirement happening. Quote-unquote.
Quote-unquote. I'm calling it an external promotion.
External promotion. I like that. Yeah, self-defense class going on. Maybe you can talk about that real quick, because that's more time relevant. And then you have a new program going, starting up called iDrive. But maybe talk just real quick about the self-defense class.
Real quick, yes. Actually, this was an interesting thing because it came up, some of the best ideas. My wife, Laura, said that, as we were talking, she's like, oh, we don't do some kind of self-defense for women, or we saw something on TV where they were talking about it. I'm like, it's a great idea. We've got experts in self-defense and kind of hand-to-hand and tactical control and that type of stuff. We have truly experts, people that go around the world. One was Officer Sharp. He goes around the country training other people. Well, we have that resource right here in the Elgin Police Department. Teaming up with Sergeant Jensen, Officer Schultz, they're putting this on with some of our female officers as well, and Commander Lally's a part of this. And we're going to do a free... Yeah, you knew Commander Lally.
I had no doubt about that.
And we're doing a free kind of self-defense for women. And again, how to protect yourself, but then also what type of technology is out there, so people can, by using smartphone apps and different things that they can do to make sure that they're safe. So we're doing it, we're timing it so when kids are back, kids mostly college, are back for Christmas break and the New Year break. So it's coming up. We'll be announcing it here on Facebook, but it's, do you have it there? I think it's the 9th? 11th. The 11th, I'm sorry. The 11th on a Sunday in the afternoon at the center. So we're going to be putting it on Facebook, and you can go online and check it out, but it's just for women, and it's about, it's self-defense for women. So I'm very excited about this program. I think it's a great idea. Again, we've got officers that will teach people some great ways that they can protect themselves. And then the last thing is iDrive. It's a new thing coming out for people who drive around Elgin, specifically, cab drivers, limo drivers, UPS, FedEx, mail, postal service, those type of people who are driving around Elgin all the time. How can we give them the training so that they know what to look for, and then help identify crimes that are going on or just things that need to be addressed? 311 will be a part of it as well. So it's that's going to be 2 very cool programs. So it's exciting. It's a lot of good stuff happening, and then we'll talk more about the promotions next week. But it's going to be the 30th at 3 o'clock, and hiring new officers. Glenn's getting the external promotion and promoting Colin Fleury, Adam Schussler, and Dave Lesko. So it's a great time to be. There it is. It's covered, and it's. I'm excited. It's going to be a great 2015. Good closeout to 2014 and a great 2015. So fired up.
Friday with the Fuzz with Elgin's Chief of Police, Chief Swoboda. We will be back next Friday as well, and it'll be the day after Christmas. So an early Merry Christmas to you and yours, and to the department as well. Thank you. And thank you for listening.
You're listening to AM 1410, WRMN.
In Elgin.
Yeah.